On my birthday, my rich grandpa smiled. How do you spend your $3,400,000 trust fund? I shockingly blinked. What trust fund? My parents looked like they might throw up. He turned to them and asked, where did the money go? The restaurant was one of those places where they don't list prices on the menu. Crystal chandeliers hung from vaulted ceilings, and our table overlooked the harbor where yachts bobbed gently in their slips. I'd never been somewhere this fancy before, and I kept fidgeting with a cloth napkin in my lap, wondering why Grandpa Ernest had insisted on celebrating my 21st birthday here instead of at the usual chain steakhouse. Mom and Dad sat across from me, both dressed better than I'd seen them in years. Dad wore a suit that actually fit him properly, and Mom had on a cocktail dress I'd never seen before. They seemed nervous, which struck me as odd. My grandfather had always been generous with birthday dinners, even if we only saw him twice a year. Grandpa Ernest raised his champagne glass, his weathered face breaking into a warm smile. At 78, he still had that commanding presence that came from building a commercial real estate empire from nothing. To my beautiful granddaughter Madison. 21 years old today. A milestone. I lifted my own glass, feeling awkward about the legal champagne. Thanks, Grandpa. So, he said, setting down his glass and leaning forward with genuine interest. Tell me. How do you plan to spend your trust fund? $3,400,000 is quite a sum. I've been dying to know what you'll do with it. The champagne glass nearly slipped from my fingers. I caught it just in time, but some of the liquid sloshed onto the white tablecloth. I'm sorry, what? Grandpa's smile faltered slightly. Your trust fund, sweetheart. The one I established when you were born. It became available to you today, on your 21st birthday. My stomach dropped somewhere around my knees. I don't know what you're talking about. The color drained from his face. Across the table, I watched my parents transform. Dad's hand froze halfway to his water glass. Mom's lips had gone white, pressed together so tightly they nearly disappeared. She looked like she might be sick right there on the table. Madison, Grandpa said slowly, his eyes moving from me to my parents and back again. You're telling me you don't know about the trust fund? This is the first I'm hearing about it. My voice came out smaller than I intended. Grandpa Ernest turned to my father with an expression I'd never seen before. His jaw tightened, and his eyes went cold. Where did the money go, Robert? Dad's mouth opened and closed like a fish drowning in air. Dad, I can explain. $3.4 million. Grandpa's voice cut through the ambient noise of the restaurant like a blade. Several nearby diners glanced our way. I gave you one job. 1. Make sure Madison knew about the fund and help her access it when she turned 21. That money was for her education, her future, her security. Mom finally found her voice. Ernest, please, not here? Not here? Grandpa's voice rose another notch. My granddaughter just found out on her 21st birthday that there's a fortune with her name on it that she never knew existed. Where exactly would be the appropriate place for this conversation, Patricia? I sat frozen, trying to process what was happening. $3 million. That kind of money was abstract to me, something